unadulterated jobs. Oh, we're in.
We're in the draft.
We're in. Squirtle Squad with first pick, first ban. This is going to be Battlefield of Eternity.
Nice.
So we're about to get our Immortal on.
Oh, yeah. Ilarion and Belith just duking it out.
Yeah, those two guys that no one else knows the names of, Josh.
Gilly knows them.
Gilly does.
Yeah. I like Diablo a lot. I mean, they're not like actual characters from Diablo. They just, named them. I mean, I guess technically they're characters from Diablo, but they're not like in the game. They're not in Diablo 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Squirtle Squad taking some time with their first ban. They go with Sylvanas. Interesting strategy. So now Wraith has to choose, are we going to give them Illidan or Kael'thas? And honestly, I think based on recent results, I would give them Illidan. Because you have your whole draft to do something about it.
That's true.
And honestly, Kael'thas is pretty good in this map. The gravity lapse in those really narrow parts of the map can hit a lot of people, and that's lights out.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if Wraiths let Kael'thas through. That'd be quite the gamble with how strong Kael is right now.
Now, Illidan is pretty good on this map. I don't think this is one of his best maps, but it's definitely not a bad map for him.
No,
so I'd say this is like basically a neutral map for him, in my opinion, because there's not like huge camp density like some maps. The lanes are pretty long, so he has that going for him.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual open space on the lane at the beginning of the game is not massive.
Oh, and it's Greymane, so Squirtle Squad has the opportunity to pick the Kael'thas up if they want. And I will be very surprised if they don't. But of course, I was very surprised that Wraiths didn't ban him either. So, anything's possible tonight.
I think you can make an argument for either hero, honestly, and I like this from Squirtle Squad. I think Wraiths, I think they're assuming that Squirtle was going to pick Kael, and they do.
Yeah.
So I actually like that, because you're taking away Greymane, knowing that assuming that you will get Illidan and you wouldn't pick it anyways. But I guess we'll see if. I mean, the Greymane ban seems to suggest to me that they want to go Illidan.
Yeah.
That they want to deny Greymane.
We'll see if they end up going with the Illidan or not. They're going to pick up the Rhaegar first off. Even after his healing nerf, still considered probably top 3 healers. But let's be honest, none of the healers are anything to write home about right now.
No, so the support meta is very...
It's very weak right now. Yeah.
It's not fun. I like Karazim, he's fun. Every other healer sucks, in my opinion.
I enjoy Rhaegar still. I really do.
I think he's fine. Yeah, like the damage increase is fun, I guess. It's nice that he's a bit more of an aggressive.
But there's not the breadth of support that are good and fun is very tiny right now.
I would agree. And we're gonna see Thrall here from Squirtle Squad. So they pass up the Illidan, going with Li Ming, and I have to assume that maybe they just I don't know why you ban Greymane.
I mean, Greymane is very strong on this map objective-wise.
Maybe they just don't play Greymane, and they didn't want to play against it.
I mean, Greymane is scary. Because
they could have gotten him, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, they could have picked it.
Yeah.
And they chose not to, so.
So Squirtle Squad gonna grab Thrall and Tyrande. And Tyrande, of course, extremely good on this map because of her Hunter's Mark and the ability to burn down the Immortal incredibly quickly with it.
And this is sort of an awkward draft position for Wraiths, because you kind of want to ban a tank, but you're also banning yourself out. And so you kind of have to look and like see what it is that you want to do, but you also, okay, they're going to ban Uther. So assuming they went double support, that would probably be the support they pick.
Yeah. But they might not. Tyrande with Shadow Stock is, in a lot of cases, decent enough to solo support.
I maybe would like to see I don't know. I guess Squirtle Squad might want to leave Tassadar on the table if they're planning to go Tyrande Tass. The only thing is that if Wraith does decide to go Illidan, then Tass is going to come out. They banned the Sonya, so
Yeah.
the
So
Sonya,
if Wraith wants Illidan, this is the time to do it. Right.
yeah,
now.
they could just take Tass Illidan right now.
Illidan Tass. Yeah, that's exactly right. And so we'll see if that's kind of what they want. They've got the Rhaegar. Rhaegar, of course, very good with Illidan as well, with the Ancestral, the Lightning Shield, to keep him up and give him extra damage as he's jumping to and fro.
Yeah.
No tanks yet.
I don't think they're going to go Illidan. They don't have a lot of room. Yeah, they don't have a lot of time, and they were thinking really hard. They went through their initial time pool. I think if you were going to go Illidan, like the path is pretty clear here. So we're going to get a noob. A noob getting nerfed tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Feels bad, man.
He is getting a health and health regen nerf, which I don't think it'll kill him, but I think it might. I don't think it'll kill his bruiser, secondary tank bruiser capabilities, but I think it will really weaken the solo tank Anub.
I don't know why that had to happen. Like, we were getting to a point where there are finally enough warriors that like you could see like interesting stuff happening, and anyway, we're gonna see Tyrael.
Interesting. So, what do you think they're gonna
bruiser.
go with as their last pick?
They probably are gonna get a source of like Falstad would be good. Actually, I think I'd like to see Falstad.
You think we're gonna? I guess the question is, they've got so many. They've got a lot of all their damage right now is ranged, and if they go with the Falstad, do we see Sanct or do we see Judgment?
Oh no, we're definitely gonna see Sanct. I would say because of the Kael'thas, it lets you kind of like just stay in the fight against the Kael'thas where you can't retreat. I also like Falstad because you can cocoon into Gust.
Yep, that's true.
Which is pretty awesome.
It's a great way to isolate.
But I don't know. Falstad's one of those characters that a lot of people aren't comfortable playing. I'm not a good Falstad. I know a lot of people are like, so he's a really good character, and I think if they're comfortable, they should do it. We're gonna get Karazim.
You're gonna get to see your Karazim, and I think because of the Toronto, we'll probably see 7-sided coming out of him.
Maybe.
Especially with the double tank.
The double tank is just gonna absorb it. I don't know. I guess we see.
It depends how well they can isolate, right?
And then Muradin. Last pick Muradin.
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
I guess when you pick a noob Tyrael with your 3rd and 4th pick, yeah, Muradin tends to slip through. So
yeah, Squirtle Squad looking pretty dangerous.
Yeah, they have a lot of ability to blow people up, a lot of CC. I guess because you have the Tyrande and the Kael and the Thrall, maybe 7-sided is the way to go, because if you can catch someone out, you just kill them instantly.
Yeah.
Which is good. And whoa, what? Last pick Illidan!
See, I was wondering about this, because this makes the Tyrael pick make a lot more sense, in my mind.
I guess. I mean, he's going to be providing shielding. He's going to be able to help block and speed him up, and this is a heavy melee lineup against a Kael'thas, you know?
Yeah, the chain, especially with the extra AoE damage now from his chain bomb explosion, that could hurt. That could really hurt. So,
is it Illidan and a noob going in, and Tyrael trying to keep the backline safe? I guess. Like that's sort of how I see it.
Yeah, I kind of see that, and then either Sanct on the back line or charge forward and Sanct on the front line to protect them, because you've got that pretty much instant teleport, so you can kind of decide how the battle's going, whether okay, my back line's safe, we're hitting them pretty hard, I'm going in, drop Sanct, and now Illidan can kind of do whatever he wants.
Yeah. So I'm going to see, I think if you look at Squirtle Squad's composition, we're going to need some solid cleanses. We're going to need some solid cleanses coming out of Rhaegar, because people are going to get hit by something. And when they do, if Squirtle Squad's coordinated, the rest of those CC abilities are going to hit that person shortly thereafter. And that person, like Gravity Crush from Kael and Hunter's Mark from Tyrande, like, it gave you so much damage.
I know. The ability for Squirtle Squad to chain CCs is extremely strong.
I think that's why Tyrael has to go Sank too. Like you just, if somebody does land a CC ability, you can cleanse it essentially.
You can completely negate that follow up for it. Whereas if you don't, like I'm just scared because Li Ming, I mean even Illidan can be picked off pretty easily. Rhaegar can be picked off pretty easily with Chain Stun. He's like you said, Lunar Flare. You got Feral Spirit, Stormbolt, Gravity Lapse.
No, the Rhaegar in this composition has to play very, very carefully.
Yes.
Because if he goes in and he gets stunned, like that's bad.
That's
really bad. Yeah, he's gone and
absolutely gone.
And the rest of his team is already going in. So he needs to be very careful about when he chooses to go in. So that'll be something to watch for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Switch over to in-game. And here we go. Battlefield of Eternity, Squirtle Squad versus Wraith, Snow Tier, Shampoo, Redux. On the side of Squirtle Squad, we have Colin on Kael'thas, Asteria on Muradin, Bale Dirty on Tyrande, Quillian on Thrall, and Ember on Karazim.
And on the side of Wraith, No Tier, Shampoo, Redux, we have Phoenix playing Tyrael, Kuto playing Rhaegar, Kunriel playing Anubarak, Wraith on Illidan, and Hydra playing Li Ming. Hydra is a wizard ability, however not one that Li Ming has access to. Sad face.
Ha! It's true.
Hydra's a good wizard ability too.
It is a very good wizard ability. Both teams rotating down bottom actually. Nubarak kind of scouting things out. Like I said, Wraith has a very good front line. And so I think this is what they're going to need to play into this match, is this incredibly strong front line.
I think the worry is, like, even though the front line is quite strong overall, if the Tyrael or the Anubarak gets hit by a Stormbolt, like, that could be really bad. And here, look at Asteria charging the backline, gets on a Hydra, but no, the teleport's going to be enough to get away. Big Flame Strike doing some damage. But yeah, great. See, Asteria already realizing, like, I want to get into that backline, so... Yeah. I like that a lot because I think that's what's going to happen for Squirtle Squad is they need to get Asteria into the back line and start locking people up.
Squirtle Squad rotating up. They want to try and get a pick on Wraith right now. Wraith kind of sniffing this out. It's like, I know you're missing, guys.
So sneaky.
Yep. And the rest of Wraiths are going to try and take advantage of this by pushing bottom as hard as they can. It's just kind of, it's going to be tower trades, Josh. It's really all it's going to be right now.
Yeah, they have both of the bottom ones, and now Squirtle Squad's cleaning up the top here. So Wraith pretending to get a bit aggressive on Warden Tyrande. Illidan fighting Warden Tyrande, that's pretty good. But nothing comes of it, and now we're going to have the first Immortal spawning in 5 seconds.
Yeah, both teams neck and neck right now. It's all been postulating. The Mortals are spawned. Wraith is kind of congregating around their Immortal in defense mode right now. And we'll see if they can get some picks. Nice spikes onto Nu, but there is the massive damage. The Lunar Flare, the stuns, and the follow-up Tyrael just gets absolutely deleted.
Yeah, and I mean... it's going to be an issue. And now Kuto also potentially in trouble here. Asteria wants to try and get him with the Stormbolt. He won't. So the blow-up is going to be good early. Definitely very good early. And with Kael'thas, it should get better late. But maybe dropping off a bit. And as we see the fight around the Immortal here, Quillen getting very low. Ember going to keep him alive. Asteria way ahead of his team. Gets a heal from Tyrande. Looks like he's... Oh no! Kuto is going to make sure that both he and Karazim go back to the Hall of Stars.
Well, not only that, props to Wraith. He was on the enemy Immortal the entire time and actually out-damaged the poke from the defense.
That's not something you see very often. And most of the time when a team rotates a defense like that at the first Immortal, it means that they'd like to get some picks, but oftentimes it doesn't work out. And in that case, it actually worked out great for Wraith. Yeah. So, very well done.
No, and it ended up being the defense. The defense did get the pick, which was nice, and that really kept Squirtle Squad from being able to re-engage on that Immortal. And he's got a nice quarter shield. They should be able to get both of these towers and probably some keep damage or some fort damage as well.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some fort damage here. I don't know how much is going to be. Phoenix getting hit again by the Gravity Last Bomb, and half his health gone already. Big stun coming out for the Immortal. He's going to charge in here and he doesn't want this wall to be around, so he's going to focus on that first. But we'll get some damage, but they should be able to save this, barring a good pick from Wraiths.
Yeah, they're trying for sure. The Immortal doing quite a bit of damage. Unfortunately, the burst damage comes out and Tyrael is going to fall again, but I would say for the most part that was really on the side of Wraith. I mean, they've almost got a fort, the very first Immortal. That's about as much as you can hope for it right now.
Yeah, that's about, like you said, that's about what you'd hope for. Like, it's getting a fort that early is pretty bad. We actually see some minions doing some damage to it also, but so it has very little health left, like you said, and for the first Immortal, you have to be happy with that, especially given how that fight started out around the Immortal. So,
and Wraith, even on the bottom, is doing a really good job matching Quillian to keep the lane pushed back completely. He's doing a really good job on that Illidan. Top, again, still pushing fairly aggressively, but the Kael'thas wave clear is real.
Yeah, and it actually got better after the last patch. So another sort of indirect buff, even when they're trying to nerf his single target.
In some ways, I almost forget how Kael'thas plays, you know, because you see him so little these days.
Yeah, true.
And it's just like when you see a Kael'thas, you're just like, oh, holy crap, that's why everybody bans him.
Yeah, you see the triple gravity lapse or something, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's infuriating to play against. I understand why no one wants to. And, yeah.
Wraith's doing a really good job. They cleared the camp. They waited to cap it until just a few seconds before, so that's going to be moving. Counter cap by Squirtle Squad, and now Squirtle Squad looking to... I was going to say defend. They're still kind of postulating, both teams postulating around the middle right now. They're looking to get a pick.
Oof, Asteria in the bush there, but he's Muradin, so he's pretty tanky.
Yeah, Phoenix keeping Colin back actually quite a bit. Colin trying to clear up the Shaman camp before they move on anything. Both teams really just, let's deal with the minions first, guys, and just kind of look at each other.
Yeah, Hydra very low on mana. He does have Astral Presence, so that's going to keep his mana up while he's below 25%, but still could blow through that pretty fast. Phoenix kind of isolated from his team, but he's going to be okay. You know, we don't have a cleanse on the side of Squirtle Squad, TBK. I hesitate to even propose this, but could we see Judgment Hunt, given that there's no cleanse? They know there's no cleanse.
I think that could be a very dangerous combo, especially against, say, the Kael'thas or the Tyrande.
Yeah.
Squirtle Squad going in on the Immortal, getting quite a bit of damage out on it now. Wraith moving into intercept. Nice spikes coming out, interrupting, and Squirtle Squad's going to actually have to back up. Really good poke from the side of Wraith right now.
Yeah, and the Li Ming just really so good around the Immortal. Like, maybe she's not the highest damage character when attacking the Immortal, but the poke is... It's oppressive, honestly, in a way. Like, you're standing under the Immortal, you're trying to get something done, and you get smacked in the jaw with another orb, and it's quite frankly annoying. So we're going to see actually an engagement in the top. Calling on Kael'thas getting run down here by Illidan and Tyrael. Some great body blocks going in. I don't know if Wraith is going to let him go. He will. It looked like they had him blocked in pretty solid there, but he managed to squeak away, and now Phoenix is the one running for his life. Yeah,
very, very good job by Bale Dirty and Ember, keeping Colin up throughout that entire thing, using the stuns and the heals to keep him from getting blocked in.
That was kind of an interesting decision to go after that, because now they're short-handed. Tyrael's low on health, so he's not here in the middle. They get a little bit of damage in on the side of Squirtle Squad, so at this point, Wraith has to, you know, like, probably the mid phase is going to happen if they move away from their Immortal.
Well,
but
Wraith's is just kind of the waiting game, and here it is. Wraith's just hit 10, so this is why Squirtle Squad has been so hesitant to really push in. Wraith has got a really big advantage for about half a level, so all Squirtle Squad really can hope to do right now is defend. Wraith is going to try and take advantage of this as much as they can. We are going to see Metamorphosis disintegrate Sank. So, and here it is, Colin getting aggressed on ridiculously. Sanctification goes down, Metamorphosis is popped, and they are pushing Squirtle Squad back. Kael'thas is down, and there's just not going to be anything they can do to stop this until they hit 10.
And that Metamorphosis got a lot of value, hitting a lot of people. And like you said now, at this point, Squirtle Squad going to have to hit 10 before they can really contest. And I think, yeah, if I was Wraiths, I would just say, let's just push their Immortal. They have to come after it. They have a few seconds here before they're going to have the Heroic, but they're so close, TBK.
Yeah, so they just did hit 10, and they may try to engage him on, and there it is. The Sundering comes out, so much damage going down. A nice Ancestral onto Phoenix. It is going to be Starfall, and the Nubarak is just getting absolutely blown up. And this is perfect for Squirtle Squad. Even though they did lose the Immortal, they were able to get a nice pick onto a Nubarak. There wasn't any ultimates left on the side of Wraiths, so they weren't really able to do much about that, and they're not going to be able to do a whole lot with this Immortal without that Nubarak.
Yeah, exactly. So they win the Immortal, but at what cost? Because their ability to push with it, like you said, is now so reduced. Good news is the Immortal goes right onto the fort here. It is going to do quite a bit of damage. It should get cleaned up before the fort, and I don't think there's going to be enough poke out of the side of Wraiths, even though they really want it. You can see how badly they want it. They're willing to stick around in a 3v5.
Quillen says, I will step in front of that orb so it does not hit the fort. But on top, Phoenix, being a sneaky little Tyrael, throws his sword over, ends up getting the fort off, and is going to get away.
I mean, he is demonic Tyrael, so he's definitely substantially sneakier, and his diversion buys time for the rest of his team in the bottom lane.
For the counter diversion.
I like it. It's many layers of subtlety.
Yes, it's like
kind of
Inception, but for fort killing.
It's Deception.
Oh.
Wow. So we do have Palm for Kerosene. We talked about this a little bit during the draft, like what's Kerosene going to take. I think I'm okay with it, namely because there is a lot of burst damage that can come out from Li Ming. Yeah. And I think it's fine.
Well, I figured we're going to see one healing ultimate of some sort, right? So Tyrande, they just thought with all the melee that Wraiths has, Starfall was probably more useful than Shadowstalk. And so because of that, Kerosene went Palm. And I think that's actually a really good thing to do in this situation, just because of all the melee, and since Starfall is so big, they can get a lot of use out of it.
Starfall also really good on this map because if you're attacking the enemy's Immortal, you can throw down Starfall to get value on the Immortal, does quite a bit of damage, and also can help us zone out the enemy team. So
well, not only that, they have two of those amazing zoning abilities. Not only do they have Starfall, they got Phoenix too.
Yeah.
Which is basically another zoning ability of equal size. So you throw one of those on each side, the enemy team's not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah, but you know, if I'm Wraiths, I'm not worried about the zoning because we're going back.
Phoenix getting caught out, able to teleport, but he is going to get absolutely blown up. And at the worst possible time, Immortals have now spawned.
So yeah, Wraiths they're gonna get the Shaman camp, but yeah, like you said, this is really bad. Now Wraiths actually just gonna race this, and I like this because they know they actually can't fight the enemy team, and they actually are gonna get to the halfway point. Yeah, they do barely get to the halfway point before Squirtle Squad. They're about 2,200 ahead.
Yeah, the combined Illidan Li Ming is just doing a lot of work right now. Squirtle going on to the enemy Immortal right now. Wraiths just trying to defend as much as they can. Tyrael is back. They are up a talent tier, but only for a few more seconds. Squirtle is just waiting for that 13 to re-engage, and there it is.
I was going to say it's great from Wraiths. Like, they actually are fine with waiting because they had a camp in the top. The camp is what bought them that time because Kael'thas rotated up, but now he's coming back down as Squirtle Squad is trying to push Wraiths off of this point. Starfall does go down. All the heroics being blown here. Quillen taking so much damage. Wraith not willing to let the War Chief get away. And the Disintegrate comes out, so much damage, TBK, and everybody on Squirtle Squad is falling.
Yeah. Wraith with a beautiful metamorphosis is going to go straight onto Colin. The Ancestral lands. Colin is in a lot of trouble, able to get the camp, but Wraith just able to finish him off. He's going to dive back to his teammates, and that is a 3-for-0 on the side of Wraith, and a nice 2-level lead now, all because they were patient and waited for Tyrael to get back for the good engage.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't stress it enough. When you capture the camp at the right time, it gives you opportunities. And in that case, the opportunity was that Kael had rotated away from the fight. He was going to clear the camp top, and then they saw him on the map and they knew, yes, like Tyrael is good to get back. And now they're rewarded with this Immortal that has, I guess about 40% of its health.
Yeah.
Sorry, of his shield, and it's going to be pushing this bottom lane. And
not only
they're
that,
pretty close to 16.
Yeah, if they take these towers should get them 16. And that will give them 2 levels and a talent tier advantage, which will be huge, because if they can get some picks with this Immortal, then they could possibly push to win with this.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a possibility. They're going to need to get it pretty soon, though. The Immortal's health is starting to drop. Starfall does come out just to zone. I like this. Phoenix is not happy with that. He's going backline Sank as a Nubrak joins him. They're trying to lock down Ember. They don't get it, and at this point, the keep is going to fall, and it looks like Wraith is going to just take that and run.
Yeah, and that's honestly the call they need to do. They didn't get the pick they needed, and so they said, okay, guys, we're 16, we're 2 levels ahead, we're up to talent tier, we'll settle for the keep.
Look at this.
They want a bush party. Look at that. Oh.
I like this a lot. I love this call because they want to fight. They want to fight at 16.
And they should.
Pigs. The pigs come out as they see them rotating. Ember's rotating through. So, but yeah, they, like you said, they should fight, and they tried to give themselves a situation where they could fight. They're gonna clear top here because of the Tyrande Owl. They do know where they are, but I love this. Wraith's gonna finish the camp. The rest of the team is moving down, try and sniff something out, and Nubrak will spy the Shaman camp. But now I feel like if you're a Squirtle squad, you're not going towards that Cosser camp bottom.
No.
You want to fight, so...
Squirtle squad right now, they need to, what they want to do is they want to stick together and they want to soak as much as possible. They need to get 16 before this next Immortal phase, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're not splitting up, which is good, because if they get picked at this point, death timers are getting up into 40-some seconds, and that's not what they want.
And they're about to hit 16. Like, they're all grouped top lane. They're soaking up the XP in top lane. They're pretty close to 16. There it is. And nothing really surprising so far. Tempest Fury for Thrall. Circle of Life, obviously, for Karazim. So good. Probably his best talent in terms of just raw healing output. So
yeah. That's a huge healing increase. Alright, so they're going to go down and clear all these catapults and the Khazra camp real fast before everything spawns. But this gives Wraith a really good advantage because they are ready and at the Immortal already, and look how fast it is dying.
It's just melting away. But, I mean, likewise on the side of Squirtle Squad, they did a ton of damage in a very short period of time. They are behind by quite a large margin, but still, that's about 6,000 back, but still. That's
the power of Hunter's Mark at this level of the game with this kind of damage coming out. With teams looking to engage, Disintegrate comes out, Sanctification goes down, Quillen in a lot of trouble, Sundering goes out but doesn't hit anybody. Phoenix and Starfall are down, but the palm is popped. Unfortunately, Colin is not going to be saved from that. Asteria had to pop Avatar, but he might even go down. Phoenix coming in with the body blocks, and he's in a lot of trouble, and he's going to die. And this is probably going to be game 5-man wipe, Josh. And
that was just an incredible team fight, honestly.
Decisive team fight, just so well executed. The Sanctification by Phoenix, just in the right spot every single time, and just did a tremendous job.
Yeah, it's almost like the way they use Sanctification, it's almost like he's laying out the welcome mat. Because he dives into the backline and he drops it, and then immediately Nubrak and Illidan are there with them. And there's nothing that can be done about it. Like, you can't stun them, you can't do anything to them. So I really like that, and it was a very interesting take on a dive comp with Illidan, and I really like what they did with it. Honestly, it looked pretty scary to me.
Yeah, no, that was very, very well done by them. Okay, let's see here. But yeah, I mean, they gave Squirtle Squad the Kael'thas, and they executed their comp beautifully. Like, that's really what it came down to.
Yeah, and I don't think the Kael'thas was like badly executed or anything.
No,
but like the dive was too much for Kael and Tyrande. Like you said, those are two pretty squishy people.
Yeah.
And to have those 3 bodies charge you constantly, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
I honestly, I wonder if you couldn't make an argument for Haymaker on Muradin. To be honest, just for the peel, like just to peel people.
Yeah,
it was insane.
I mean, yeah, they do have 2 very divey tanks,
and it's not like Muradin ever really got initiated. Like it was never, the idea was never like kill Muradin first. Like it's not like they had tons of CC to the point where they're like, oh, if we can catch Muradin, we'll try and kill him. Like it was more like, no, we're like, you see the Tyrande and the Kayle, we're going in. And the Muradin never, like he died a couple times, but he was never like the primary focus of the assault. Like he died when the team was wiped.
Yeah, exactly.
Not initially.
No,
so.
they never really focused the tank. Like all the focus was on either that Tyrande or that Kael'thas.
Yeah.
All right. Well, big GG to Wraiths. Beautifully executed team fights. Honestly, I was very impressed with all their team fights they pulled out. So we are going to go to round 2 of them. Let's find out what Squirtle Squad picks map-wise.
I'm just going to restart my client because I was lagging pretty hard.
Oh, you were?
I don't really know why that is the case, but that's what was happening. So
that's sadness. Feels bad, man.
I was like, oh, the disintegrate. Oh, it's that person's dead. Like the disintegrate, it's so huge. It's so huge that their health disappeared all at once. What's going on? I like it. But yeah.
All right, so Tomb of the Spider Queen is our next map.
Yuck. I mean, yeah, Tomb of the Spider Queen.
I just once.
I'm salty.
Haunted Mines, please. Just
one time.
Just one time. Like,
just a single time.
I would love you long time. Like if you Tomb of the Spider Queen.
I remember, like, I think one of my earliest memories of playing Arthas was on Haunted Mines, but I also remember playing him on Tomb of the Spider Queen and being like, this hero is the best, and then as I learned more about the game, I was like, he's just really good on that map. It's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Those were the old days when Sonya wasn't good, or so people believed.
Yes.
People believed Sonya was not good, and my friend and I would just play Arthas Sonya in every game. It was dirty.
It was dirty.
Like, it was meta before the meta was real. Like we were just ahead of the curve. That's like, I like to think that we were just way ahead of the curve, but maybe that's not true. I don't know.
You know, you could have been. You could have been ahead of the curve.
It was primarily him, because he was the one playing Sonya and telling me that she was great, and I was like, I don't know, you make it work. Doesn't mean she's good. But you have one of those people you play with who, like, they'll be like, maybe you're that person, because I know you play a lot of Murky, but like, for me, this person that I play with, he'll just be like, I'm playing this hero, and I'll be like, I think that hero's bad, and he'll be like, you know what, I'm going to show you that it isn't, and he can just make anything work.
Yeah. I can do that. I can do that with a few characters. Although
you like Artanis too, don't you?
I'm okay at Artanis. I definitely wouldn't say that I'm one of those people who can make Artanis work like that. I would definitely not say that. I do enjoy Artanis at times.
I don't think there's that many people who can just make Artanis work anyways.
That's a Trixler thing.
Yeah. I think the hero's good, but I just think, like, the effort required to play him to his maximum is eclipsed by the ease of playing Muradin. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I mean, you could say that about a lot of things.
True.
Honestly.
ETC also.
ETC is kind of one of those in-betweens, because with the wrong hands, he's horrible. But with the right person, he becomes, like, godlike.
Well, while we're waiting for the draft to start, talking about ETC in the wrong hands, my coworkers and I all play this game, and we do it because, like, everybody plays different games. Like, we got CSGO people, Dota people, whatever, right? So Heroes is kind of the game that everybody can play, and like it doesn't matter if you haven't played in a while. So I have a friend who loves to play ETC, and as he would say, he wakes up in the morning to land a 5-man mosh pit. Like, he just loves it. And I remember one time distinctly we were playing, and it was on Towers of Doom, and I was playing support, so I said, hey, do you have your mosh pit up? And the next thing I heard, he was moshing, and I was like, I just wanted to know if you had it, man. Like, I wasn't calling for you to go in. And it was like one of those pretty big mosh pits.
And then it's just like, where are you guys?
Exactly.
This is beautiful.
It was one of those pretty big mosh pits that doesn't really get the amount of follow-up it deserves. And after the game, I was like, man, like, if I ask you if you have mosh pit, I'm not telling you to do it. I just want to know if you're good to do it, but I'm not telling you to. And so now it's just... that's our inside joke.
And that's the thing, like, back with ETC, I used to be like, I wouldn't mosh unless I could get like 4 people. Yeah. And so, as you play ETC more, you learn that you can get 1 or 2-man mosh pits and have it be completely worth it. If it brings the fight down to a 5v4 or a 5v3.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, so draft is starting. Tomb of the Spider Queen, and we are wasting no time. Kael'thas banned by Wraiths, and Sylvanas banned by Squirtle Squad. Not surprising at all. Sylvanas, extremely good on this map. Kael'thas is Kael'thas. Squirtle Squad! Oh my gosh, every single Tomb of the Spider Queen, Josh. Every single one. Johanna, Azmodan. Bam.
I feel like the Tomb of the Spider Queen is like a seedy nightclub, and Azmodan is the guy who's always there at the bar, and you know, like, someone's like, oh, like, I need help with something. They're like, yo, go check out with Azmodan, and Azmodan's like, sup, and then he just shows up all the time. So yeah, here we go. This is an early Azmodan comp, so we have the Johanna Azmodan picked very early, and we're gonna get double specialist from Wraith. I like this a lot. We see this a lot in the pro scene. Well, usually it's Zul Sylvanas, if you can get it.
Yeah.
Obviously,
but Sylvanas is a very high ban rate on this map because of how good she is, and because it's a triple objective, which allows her to use her pushing power much better.
Wailing Arrow is also very good on this map. Like, it's something sort of underrated about her kit on this map, is that around the boss pit, in the hallways, in, like, between the lanes, the Wailing Arrow gets so much value. Like, it's going to hit a ton of people.
Yeah.
So, it's really a solid ban on this map. And honestly, there's probably not much danger of us seeing an Illidan. It's possible, but definitely not on the side of Squirtle Squad, I don't think. I don't know why you would try that. I guess it's possible, but I don't feel it. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah. Alright, so we do have a Rhaegar Zagara. Bans are out right now. I would assume Squirtle Squad will probably ban Muradin or ETC would be decent bans at this point. Yeah. Since they already have their tank, we might see an Uther ban come out of Wraiths as well.
Yeah.
Just kind of looking at this, and again, it's just one of those. It's one of those things. Wraiths is going to have to be very aggressive and get the level lead and keep the level lead to keep that Azmodan down. And not only that, as we've seen in other games we've cast on this map, if you do just a rotation, and if you rotate, you know, just with the enemy team and just keep up with them, you're always going to lose. Because unless you put pressure on that Azmodan, unless you, like, try to interrupt what he's doing, by mid-late game, he's just going to be wiping your team effortlessly.
Yeah, and that's why I'm worried for Wraiths here. Like, they don't have anybody yet who can really put pressure on the Azmodan. The Zulroot is good, but, you know, like, Zagara's damage takes a little bit of time to ramp up, especially, you know, like the Hydralisk especially. Like, it's I don't know what they're going to do. And the Li Ming, we saw this in the game that we cast also, where it was an Azmodan comp. That was the sweet synergy game we cast. And it was like the Azmodan comp, but we add Li Ming, and that's, I like it, because if you can get resets with the globe, or if the globe gets them low enough that you can then kill them and get resets,
Yep.
either is really good for Li Ming.
So, Wraiths ended up taking out Thrall, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because that takes out basically the third really good laner that kind of goes along with the Zagara and Zul. They are going to grab Uther, which is not super surprising. I kind of figured that would be a pick of theirs if it wasn't banned out by Wraiths. The Divine Shield being extremely useful to protect some of this comp toward the end. Who do you take as Wraiths? So you need your tank. Muradin. I mean, Muradin's a fairly obvious choice here.
Yeah.
You need. I feel like they need some burst damage.
I honestly would have taken a
Greymane would be
Nubarak.
good.
Like, if a noob wasn't banned, I honestly would have taken it. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you know what I just said like 5 seconds ago? Let's forget all that and just take Rexar and Chromie, Josh. Let's do that.
I know we didn't have a Rexar in that game, but I can't help but think that Chronormu, the member of the Bronze Dragon Flight, is playing tricks on us with time, because we saw this very similar setup where we had Azmankov on the one side, Chromie on the other side. And it was Chromie Zul.
Chromie Zul, yep. And it works beautifully, because as soon as that Bone Prison lands, there's a Chromie combo waiting for you.
I swear to God, if we get in this game and Nitara is playing Rhaegar, we got trolled.
Wraith is actually sweet synergy.
Like, yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, if we get in and it's sweet synergy, I'm gonna be confused. But Squirtle Squad, 7 seconds. They're running out of time rapidly. They go with Chen.
Okay, so I in some ways I like this, because the barrel is extremely disruptive to their line right now. And if they can use that effectively, they can get a lot of work done, I think. And you could also use the barrel really to kind of box them up against something, or bunch them up, and allow for the Li Ming orbs and the orbs of annihilation to land easier.
I think the other good thing about Chen in this comp, there aren't a lot of stuns on the side of Wraiths, and he can lane early against Zagara. So they're going to want to rotate with Zul. Like, Wraiths is going to want to have Zul in the rotation, like the four-man rotation. So Chen is going to be laning against Zagara, assuming that the Chen player is comfortable with that matchup. But, like, that's... Honestly, you don't see this too much, because Chen, especially in North America, is very rarely picked. But in Europe, the Chen-Zagara matchup was like a fact of life for a while. There were a lot of Warrior players who played Chen specifically as a Zagara counter. He has a very strong early game. He actually gets better into the late game, but early game, just with his trait, he can outlane specialists like Zagara. So going to be interesting to see that, and like what we actually see from him late game. But I have a feeling he's going to be all over that Chromie.
Yeah, no, that's the problem, is there's not a lot of peel on the side of Wraiths.
I would be terrified if I was playing Rexar as a solo. Like, I have to defend my team as Rexar. Like, I like to play him as like an off-tank specialist almost, right? Because that's kind of like the role he tends to serve. But that's
rough.
But then again, they do have Zul in the front line, so it's not like he's alone. I don't know. Zul's hardier than a lot of melee heroes, so I think this could work out. If they're comfortable with the Rexar, I do think he's very underrated, and also pretty much immune to the orb. Like the Misha part of that equation, you just heal it back up. It's pretty much wasted. So
yeah. No, it's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be a good one, I think.
It's gonna be a very good one. Like, I really like what Squirtle Squad is trying to do with this comp. And anytime I see a Chen is a good time. Like, I love seeing Chen.
Yeah, Chen, not my favorite hero, but I like seeing him because, like you said, we see him so
little. It's same with Rexar too. Alright, so on the side of Squirtle Squad, we have Colin on Asmodan, Bale Dirty on Li Ming, Ember on Uther, Quillian on Johanna, and Asteria on Chen.
And on the side of Wraith's no tier Shampoo Redux, we have Phoenix playing Rexxar, Kunriel playing Zagara, Hydramon, I think this is another account from Hydra playing Chromie, Kuto playing Rhaegar, and Wraith on Zul appropriately. On Zul. Will he take Shade at level 1? No, he takes Backlash. Rip the dream. But yeah. There's no real point in taking Shade. There's not a ton of auto attack. So
alright, so we probably will see Zagara Chen bot.
Yeah, I fully expect
that's
that.
what I'm assuming right now, and then we'll see the 4-man rotation. And yeah, Chen is heading down, still have 5-man in the middle for the side of Wraiths, and Wraiths is just going to have to take control of this game early. That's really what they're going to need to do to make this work.
The other option is that you could have Rexxar go to the off lane. He is actually a really good off lane, especially after 7. Before that, it's a little bit rough for him. But against the Chen, actually not. Because the Chen is not really a threat to him. And it looks like they may go with that at least for now, although Zagara is rotating down. So, but no, maybe they might keep the Rexxar. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see.
Well, it's one of those will they, won't they situations.
Yeah, it looks like they swapped off, so... I actually think Rexxar's fine in that situation, but you want the stun for the roam, so...
Yeah, and Rexxar's their only tank. They need his tanky healing support of Misha for this other team. So Hydramon is going to try and do as much damage as possible. I think Li Ming went with her Spell Shield.
Yeah, she did.
Force Armor, yeah.
Force Armor, so Wraith trying to body block Quillen. Backlash doing a lot of damage to Johanna. The flat percentage damage, pretty good against tanks, as we just saw, but no picks on either side. Phoenix showing off why Rexxar does not want to get hit by those orbs.
Nope.
And why this is going to be sort of a difficult situation for him. He's got a goaltend with Misha, essentially. He's got to stop the orbs before they get to his face.
So you'll have to keep us updated on the Asmodan stacks. They're doing a pretty decent job being able to get their stacks going right now. It's the classic, you know, Johanna comes in, you condemn all of them together, you hurt them, and, you know, Knight takes pawn, Orb comes in, and then whoever is left just gets cleaned up real fast by the end.
Yeah, and he's at 50 bonus damage right now, but he's about to change that. Yep. Now at 58, so decent pace. I will check in a little bit closer to 10 minutes.
Ooh, Quillian taking a lot of damage, narrowly avoids the Dragon's Breath. He's gonna have to go pop that well real fast. But yeah, soaking wise, Wraith is doing a really good job. They're staying far enough away so that they don't get picked. Misha's doing some work, but most of the damage has really been on Quillian so far, and that's Johanna. It's just rough. Like it's so hard to take down Johanna.
Plus, you also like the Bone Prison can be easily negated by Johanna.
Exactly.
Like the Misha stun can be easily negated by Johanna if she sees it coming. I do want to commend Phoenix. His Bear Micro actually pretty good so far, and he's using it to. This is an interesting thing about what they're doing. They're using Misha to basically scout the enemy rotation. And so far they haven't secured any kills with it, but Misha getting pretty low. Will get the heal from Rexxar, but it should be alright. It's an interesting usage of the character. Normally you see him as more of like a lane specialist. But because of this map, and because of the fact that it is a 4-1 rotation, Misha is basically just catching orbs and trying to keep track of the enemy team.
Yeah. And I mean, right now, they're doing a really good job with their orb rotations for Asmodan. Zagara actually really holding her own well against Asteria down here on the bottom, and Ember's actually going to come down just to kind of heal and take a little bit of the pressure off of him.
Yeah, that's actually pretty surprising. It might be that Asteria's not used to the lane against Zagara, and actually Li Ming is going to fall there.
Yeah, on top, a beautiful Bone Prison by Wraith, and Chromie Dragon Breath to finish it off, but during that time, Squirtle Squad was able to get the first set of web weavers, and so those will be coming down right now. So they're a little bit behind. They're about to hit level 7 as well. What are our Asmodan stacks looking like?
Asmodan is at 120.
Okay, so that's not too bad for 450.
Yeah, I want to see what he's at. Like I said, closer to 10 minutes because it's a little bit easier to put a value on it. But for the moment, he's doing pretty well. And
why don't you tell our viewers what's the standard for Asmodan stacks at about 10 minutes? Like, what are we looking for?
I think with a comp like this, I'd say if you're in like the 300 range, then you're doing pretty good. Like at this level of competition, we actually had the world record was 11.5 minutes for max stacks, which is insane. So we won't see that here, but yeah, I think if you're in the 300 range, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
Because at that point, your stacks are so high that you're going to be clearing easily with Blackpool, and it gives your team a little bit more freedom in terms of their positioning and what they want to try and do between the lanes.
So I want to commend Wraiths here on the defense. This was a fantastic defense. Both towers in the bottom still up, both towers on top still up, and both towers in the middle still up. Like, this was an excellent web weaver defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, whoa, Quillen. But, oh my goodness, the Dragon's Breath, and there is, well, the Unstoppable was that a cleanse? That was a cleanse.
That was a cleanse.
Yeah, that was a cleanse and a protective
definitely.
shield. That was the real cleanse, and as Caldor calls it, the poor man's cleanse and protective shield. So yeah, no, that was very good work because Quillen was gonna die if not for those two things. So.
And interestingly, the Chen is building fairly tanky as well as the Johanna.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, I honestly think it's gonna be trying to just get on the Chromie late game and just prevent her from doing anything. Yeah,
just be super annoying. Looks like Chromie took the Dragon's Eye, which
she did take Temporal Loop.
Which combined with Temporal Loop or the Zool Bone Prison can do huge work. So we have red web weavers down on the side of Wraith. They're going to be trying to push middle as much as possible, see if they can get some towers there.
I love this interaction from Phoenix and Colin. Oh, and the Temporal Loop actually does go out. Quillen is gone, just annihilated.
And that's exactly what we want to see from Hydramon right there, is that Temporal Loop into basically a Sandblast, Dragon's Eye, Center Dragon's Eye. And with Johanna down and Chen getting really bullied in the bottom right now, Wraith is looking pretty good. This is exactly what you need to do to counter an Asmodan comp.
And Bale getting some more Sand Dragon power in the face. Just, this is great. Like you said, I really think Wraith is doing a great job. They've got all these lanes pushed in quite badly, and now Zagara and Zool in the bottom. Asteria needs to be really careful. They honestly could jump on him at any time, and I think you realize that he's playing pretty far back now. And the rotation now coming in from his team, he's willing to be a little bit more aggressive, but both teams are going to arrive here in the bottom lane, and the Bone Prison's just used to disengage.
Yeah. No, I've been very impressed with Phoenix's Misha play so far. And this is working really well because this gives the Chromie multiple opportunities, right? Chromie's not only just looking for Bone Prison, Chromie is able to look for Misha, stun as well, and she's going to be able to look for Maw a little later on, and possibly, if Kodo takes it, the totem, the Earthgrass totem.
Yeah, no, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Phoenix on Rexar so far. Like he's just using the character to its fullest. Like I said, I'm really impressed with his scouting. It's a really underrated part of the character. Sometimes people don't micro that bear enough, but like Asmodan is sometimes sitting between these lanes, TBK, and there's just a bear meleeing him.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I'm just trying to get stacks, okay? Get out of here, bear. Like, just leave, please. But
no, he's microing him beautifully, and Wraith actually has another turn-in right now. They're Squirtle Squad does too, but they're much closer, and there it is. Red Web Weaver's descending again, and we're going to probably see another fort or two casualty coming out of this one.
And for Wraith, I think they're going to want to try and get to third.
Asteria in huge trouble. There's the massive Chromie damage. Beautiful Bone Prison by Wraith to set that up. And that's, again, that's what we wanted to see. Lots of gems lost from Chen right there, too.
Yeah, a lot of them lost. And I don't even know if they have turn-in now. I think they might have just lost.
No, it was like 20 or 30 gems.
Yeah, it was quite a few. So if Wraiths can push this 13 advantage, that would be great. They have it, and Squirtle Squad has to be really careful. Like Li Ming's trying to poke cautiously here and just, but yeah, they should be able to force the issue top, get top fourth, extend their XP lead by a little bit, and at that point, it's going to be a kind of a dangerous interval for Squirtle Squad because they're still a whole level to go to 13.
Yeah, and like I was talking about at the beginning, this is how you beat an Azmodan comp on this map. You are very aggressive, you get those picks, and you keep him from being able to farm well. And not only that, you keep the pressure up. Because I've seen a lot of teams that are really good early game pressure, but then kind of let up a little bit. Azmodan gets his stacks up, and they start picking him off. But Wraith is doing a really good job with their rotations. They're still getting picks. They're pretty much 2 levels ahead right now, and they were able to get the pick they needed to deny the full turn-in from Squirtle Squad because they're back down to 44 gems.
So I'm going to give you the Asmo stack update.
Okay, so we're at almost 11 minutes.
He's at 284, so he's a little bit slower than I would expect with this composition. But I think like you hit it on the head. I think that Wraith is not letting him do what he wants all the time. And
they delayed him greatly these last few minutes.
Yeah, and the result is that he is a little bit further behind on stacks than I would like. Certainly, by no means is he in a dire position.
Oh like, no, that's still decent.
They have the map advantage. They have the talent advantage for the moment. That's about to go away, and they're putting pressure on Azmodan. So if they can ride into 16 ahead of Squirtle Squad, then Wraith should have a really good opportunity to lock this game up. Honestly.
Well, not only that, look at what Wraith is doing right now. They're doing an amazing job of keeping Squirtle Squad back so they can't turn in. We've got this time trap right here to alert Wraiths if, someone tries to come around to the back. And now they're doing the boss, and Squirtle Squad is just too busy trying to push the lanes out to even notice.
Yep, and they're going to get this boss for sure, and that all the lanes are pushed in to keep. There's no damage really on any of the walls. Slight damage at mid, I guess. So I don't know if they're really going to push with this boss or just use it as like time to do things elsewhere on the map, like do their bruiser, maybe push a different lane, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. They're just going to let the boss push top solo.
Yeah, and honestly, if you look at the gem count, they're only a few gems away from being able to get another turn-in, so they're working furiously right now to get that next turn-in. They're, what, 1 gem away right now?
1 gem, yeah.
1 gem. And so if they can get this turn-in right after this massive boss push, this will probably be keeps.
Yeah, and Zagara has the gems to turn in, and like you said, these lanes are all pushed in.
Yeah, this is going to be very heavy Webweaver pressure as soon as they summon it. Zagara turning in, right? No, Zul's doing it. Why is Zul's turning in 2? Just is just for like dramatic effect?
I think they have 16. They have the 16 talent tier. They want to take a team fight and then get the web weavers on the field. Like what they're doing right now is they're consciously saying, okay, well they're actually going to stop. But they
were waiting for their bruisers to cap.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe they were going to.
Yeah, the bruisers are moving middle. The bruisers are going to be with it, and now with the web weaver almost all the way pushed to the keep wall, they're going to have an extremely strong mid lane push. Zul is clearing top right now just to give that top web weaver a little more space as it comes up, and man, Wraith's just doing everything right now.
Yeah, and this is how you have to play against Azmodan. Speaking of Azmodan, the lovable Lord of Sin currently sitting at 398 stacks, so
getting close.
He's been able to play inside his base. Like once the map is pushed in like this, he can sit inside his base. And like there's no way to stop him from rotating. But if you can continue to push the issue, he's gonna get. He might just be forced to do things that he doesn't want to do that would like sort of help him otherwise get stacks. So.
Wraith is kind of trying to push all the lanes right now. They're not really. I don't even know what I'm saying.
They haven't committed to any lane.
Yes, yeah. Commitment. That's the word. They're not committing to anything necessarily. Wraith, Gonna be just fine. Nice cleanse to get him out of some of those stuns. The Web Weavers honestly didn't do that much.
No.
We've got some, like, the middle, or the keep walls, the keep forts, the keep towers are mostly gone. But it wasn't that amazing. And it's kind of interesting that Wraith played it like that, especially when they were up a talent tier advantage.
Yeah, and I think this is part of it, though, is the fact that you have a Rexar solo tank. So it's like the
it's
initiation.
Hard to get the engages they want.
Yeah, the initiation is a little bit less than what you are probably expecting. Speaking of that Rexar, though, I do want to point out he took Aspect of the Beast at 7, which is that basic attacks lower the cooldown of his W, which is the Misha stun.
Which is huge.
That's not what we normally see from him, and I actually like this given that he is solo.
Yeah.
If he wasn't solo, I think you just take the wave clear talent, but given the situation, I like this adaptation.
And here's the problem Squirtle Squad is in. They're down 2 levels, they're on the same talent tier, but at the same time, they have 111 gems. Ma goes out, Johanna is going to fall with a massive amount of gems, and Uther gets absolutely deleted by a beautiful Chromie Blast. Time is out, the Bone Prison goes down, and Asteria is just going to get deleted too. And this is the beautifulness of this team. They just lost 70 gems. Chromie just having a field day because of all the lockdown that Wraiths has, and Wraiths is just executing this comp so well.
Yeah, I'm a believer in the solo Rexar. Like, they've made it work, and I love... It's not every tank in the game that can just make themselves invulnerable for a short period of time. Obviously, Cho'Gall is one of them. But yeah, it's nice to have your tank be able to go, you know what, I need to take a breather, fellas. And just feign death like we saw in that last team fight, which saved his life, so... Very nice.
And boars! The boars are out. We don't see that ult super often either. Nice job by Wraith, dodging the orb, and Hydramon coming in and just absolutely deleting Li Ming. Hydramon has been on with those skill shots. Just so fun to see.
Nice little juke there from Wraith also. Okay, so they're going to try and pick up Phoenix. Nice feign death. Very nice feign death to be like, you know, I don't want to go any further in. Quillen is taking a lot of damage from the rest of Wraith. And they're just going to turn it around. Asteria gets the Divine Shield, jumps back in, but his time is running out, and Chromie makes sure of that. He just gets deleted, TBK.
Yeah, I tell ya, the temporal loop has just been used so well this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been super impressed. And I love seeing good Chromies. I absolutely love it because they make it look so easy, but it's not. Like, well, it's just like seeing good Rexars.
I was about to say I love seeing good Rexars, but we'll have to wait for a sec as Wraith does get picked up here. So he's going to lose. That was, I think, 27 gems that he had there, so it's quite a bit. Phoenix casually finishing the camp, blocking out with Visha. Yeah, no problem. I hunt all the time. This is nothing.
Yeah. So with Zul down, they're going to have a little bit of trouble pushing, but at the same time, both mid keep and bottom keep so low right now.
No, that bottom keep is a Chromie W away from being destroyed, so... I am a believer in the Rexar now. Like, he's doing a great job. His team is playing around it well. And the combination of Chromie and Rexar has been very, very good. Very exciting to watch. So I'm so happy with it. But they got to close out now. They're level 20.
Yeah.
Their opponents are not. Squirtle Squad has a long way to go until 20. And so they just have to make the right call.
The nice thing about Wraith right now, though, is they haven't even lost most of their fort walls.
Oh, yeah.
And so
exactly.
and a lot of damage coming out from that orb onto Hydramon, but even if they got wiped, their defenses are such that Squirtle Squad could not actually push in for a win right now.
Look at this combination of Azmodan and Chromie. Chromie continuously taking globes to the face. And Chen's actually going to blow the barrel, try and push Wraith in. Chromie is so low on health, but Chen will fall. Chromie had less than 100 health there. Just so close to securing a kill, but Colin will not. Bone Prison's going to go out. Backlash doing a lot of damage. He's on the run. Falling Sword comes down, misses Wraith. I think Wraith is just going to back up, but his team is here to support him, so Quillen needs to be sure not to stay too...
Oh, temporal loop. Quillen's in a lot of trouble. Double sandblast to the face. And he is going to fall. They did manage to get their blue web weaver summoned. Middle keep goes down, but these web weavers are going to be next to useless, Josh.
Yeah, they're not even really pushing out the lanes. Like, the web weaver bottom is gone. Like, it's just already gone.
Bottom's gone, middle's gone, top's gone. Like, they just summoned that 5 seconds ago.
Misha went in and secured the kill on the bottom keep. Good bear. Very good bear. That'll do. And so we have 2 keeps down on the side of Squirtle Squad, and they're a whole level away from 20.
Yeah, at this point, if Wraiths can manage to pick 2 people, it's over. Like, the lane push is so strong right now. Boss is up. They're baiting it right now, is what they're doing. I love the Misha scout. Like you said, he's been doing an amazing job with that all game. Asteria kind of in the back line is going to have to burn his barrel just to get back to his team.
Yeah, no, that was the right call to use the barrel, because otherwise he would have been locked down and destroyed. That globe misses, so there is a window here now for Wraith to do something before it comes back up, but it looks like they are just going to poke for the moment. It's something the comp does very well, and Chromie doing so much damage, but she's in the danger zone. If she gets hit by a globe, she's very, very close to death, but, you know, Kudo's going to make sure she gets killed.
At the same time, Wraith just got another turn in. Middle lane's completely pushed up. Bottom lane is almost completely pushed up. Wraith's going to come down and make sure that's as close as possible. They can pretty much ignore top lane and just push with either middle or bottom web weavers to maybe even get a win. Quillen taking massive amounts of damage. Has to Falling Sword just to get away.
The noble retreat of the Crusader using Falling Sword. Feels bad, man. But if you die here, that potentially could be the end of the game, as Wraith could maybe make something happen, get another kill. So probably the right call to get out, but now that won't be available for this team fight.
Squirtle does hit 20, and so they're fighting on even talent tiers right now, but they have to be extremely careful. If they are picked off right now, we have Webweaver bottom and mid, along with catapults, and Wraith is just looking for that pick opportunity.
Oh, and the temporal loop comes out. Asteria actually did not move, so nothing happened. He just was drinking the whole time. He's passing the time drinking. Quillen very low. The globe doing not a lot, and Asteria needs to be careful. If he pushes out ahead of his team here, oh
my goodness, the Chromie damage. Misha just kind of doing her own thing. Li Ming is going to get bone prison down. Lots of damage coming out from Zool, and Wraiths is pushing hard on this core now. Yeah, we've got 2 catapults coming in. Asmodan's doing the best he can with orbs. Li Ming going to get deleted by Chromie. Chromie gets the ancestral. The core down to 87%. 2 people down. Johanna just trying as much as they can to just stall things out. The shield on the core is actually regenning right now. Colin and Ember doing really good jobs pulling things down. Hydramon trying to get the thing, but Ember, Storm Shield comes out, gonna negate a lot of that Chromie damage. And the core just slowly dying. Phoenix trying to focus on it as much as they can. There's so little focus now. Temporal Loop comes out, Divine Shield goes down to stop it. Dragon's Breath misses, 34% on the core. Wraiths needs to focus. The Maw goes out. Uther goes down, but he's going to have redemption coming up. 31%.
Zagara's just trying to play hero here as she rotates around. Her and Kudo are going
Chromie
for it.
Falls.
Zagara's so low, but I think Rhaegar's got this. Hero Rhaegar.
Oh my gosh. What is this?
He BM'd a little bit, and part of me was like, I kind of hope you pay for that.
I know.
But no, he did not, so...
That was literally the most ridiculous team fight I've ever seen.
It was
they were like all over the freaking place.
As far as Shirley goes, that was quite a large team fight. Yes, I was very surprised by everything that went down. There were some really great. I actually wanted to mention it right when the fight first started. TBK.
Yeah.
There was an incredible cleanse.
Oh yeah.
From Kudo.
No question.
Onto Phoenix. Phoenix on Rexar was about to get picked by the barrel, and just very calmly cleansed it. Like, that fight could be way different if they lose Rexar right there. But
yeah, they didn't. Wow. That was literally one of the most ridiculous team fights I've ever seen. And honestly, the kill count is not that high.
No.
Like, for how ridiculous it was, I expected more people to have died. Look at Hydramon, 125,000 hero damage.
Yeah, Hydramon's like, I don't need stacks. What are stacks?
What are stacks? I have my own orbs. They're tiny, and you can't see them, and they are very painful.
Admittedly, Colin also did 340,000 siege damage.
He did.
So, I mean, I do have to give him that. That was a lot, and he never died.
No, he didn't, which is super surprising considering all the lockdown that Wraiths had.
I honestly think that's one of the reasons why he was able to keep up with stacks, even as like things started, like they were behind and stuff. Like, he stayed alive. He just made sure that he could do his thing, and like, because when you're that Asmodan player, it's like you're playing a carry in another MOBA. Like, you know that you need to be the person who's there, and if you're not the person who's there, the rest of your composition is not going to be able to do it without you.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
He made sure he was available, that he was stacking constantly, and he landed some big orbs. It just felt like in that last fight, a few of them whiffed and just didn't do enough.
And yeah, that was the problem, is that Squirtle Squad was on the back foot the entire game. Like, Wraiths did an absolutely amazing job at blocking them out early on. And not only that, Squirtle Squad had so many gems many times that they just couldn't get turned in because all their lanes were pushed back so far. We had beautiful scouting by Misha. We had time traps in really great positions. Like, Wraiths had everything on lockdown.
I'm actually surprised at how much damage Phoenix did, honestly. Like, look at his hero damage. He's approaching Zagara, approaching Zul. Like, that's just not what you see from Rexar most of the time. You know, yeah, he does more damage than like a Muradin or something.
Sure.
But I think part of that was the Burning Rage pickup, or I forget what it's called. I think it's called Wildfire Bear.
Wildfire Bear, yeah.
Yeah. That talent, it actually does quite a bit of damage. And like, we saw the bear constantly in the face of everyone. Like, the bear would not be deterred.
And that's exactly what you need from Misha, right? A good Rexar player will be constantly using Misha to be on that front line to get those stuns in, and that worked out really well with the aspect of the Beast, which Misha's basic attacks lower cooldown of her charge by 1.5 seconds. When she's in your face all the time, you're going to be able to charge constantly.
Yeah, and again, like, there were so many times early game where I just saw Misha beating on an Asmodan who was sitting between the lane, and like,
and Asmodan's just like, get off me, you dumb bear.
It's not even like it's a huge threat to Asmodan, because he has a ton of health.
It's just annoying.
Yeah, it's just really frustrating. So I like it. It was a cool draft, and the solo Rexar worked out. But I think it worked out because Wraiths is used to playing around it, and it's not like, do not get, go to Hero League after this, and then be like, guys, I saw this solo Rexar, I feel confident. Like, there's definitely a certain element of playing around it, and I think specifically with the Chromie and Zul, it was quite effective.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. Not everybody can go in and pull off that level of Rexar skill. Like, that is, Phoenix was doing a massive level of micro with Misha.
Yeah.
But and Chromie just worked so well with that team. There was just so much lockdown that every time that Bone Prison or every time that charge went out, there was Sandblast, Dragon's Breath, dead person.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many times that a play from Hydra just sealed it. Like the damage came out either from Temporal Loop or Bone Prison, or he just landed a good WQ. There were a good share of just raw Dragon's Breath, Sandblast from him where he didn't have setup, and he just landed it.
Yeah.
And
no,
that
it was
scary.
very, very strong Chromie play regardless.
Yeah.
But add on to a really good Chromie player lockdown, and you're just gonna be blowing crap up, especially with Dragon's Eye, which he took. That extra 25% damage when you can guarantee it is huge.
Yeah, I think you take it when you know you can guarantee it. And from this game and the other Chromie game we cast, I think that's probably going to be a trend. Like, if you know that you have the lockdown and you can rely on it, why not get the extra damage?
Yeah, exactly. Well, guys, that was a fantastic set. Like, super impressed with Wraith's play. That was really, really good. Congrats to them on winning their Pro League game. And GG's Squirtle Squad. I mean, they tried.